Hello everybody, it is Wednesday, March 30th, 7:42 p.m. We just got ice cream and Empire's on tonight, and I'm excited. I can't be more excited. I love Empire, great show. We're back, Home Alone here. Should I rename this? Copyright issues someone brought up to me.
And technically you're not home alone because you're with me.
And my parents.
And your parents and the
Technically,
dogs.
we are not home alone. So
this is going to be not home alone.
Not home alone.
Surrounded by people is what we're going to call that.
Surrounded by people. You're here with Surrounded by People. And we're going to talk about this Black Lives Matter thing. I'm not going to call it bullshit because I want to live to see tomorrow. So we're just going to call it a thing. A thing that I believe is being pursued the wrong way. And we're trying to figure out what to talk about today. And we're gonna go from talking about the genders and the different kinds of genders that people say they are. And then we're gonna talk about the election, and we're like, no, not today. So we chose. I chose. We both chose.
No, he chose.
I chose.
He chose.
He
chose Black Lives Matter.
Which, I get where they're coming from. I mean, everyone knows that. I don't know if I can call them black. I feel like that's offensive. African American? People of a darker skin tone?
That's racist.
That's racist?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call them African Americans. African Americans have been treated differently ever since they were slaves way back when, and they're here now, and it all sparked from this Michael Brown case, which,
I mean, it's been going on before that, but more recently, it's been the Michael Brown case that kind of set it off again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Michael Brown re-sparked the whole this basically Black Panthers thing.
Yeah.
Black Power, all that
Which
stuff.
there's nothing wrong with.
If you want equal rights and you want to stop being treated the way you've been treated, then you have to stop acting the way that everyone knows you're acting. Okay?
Jesus.
I'm just saying, Super Saiyan.
Because he's white.
I'm just saying. If you look at everything that's ever happened, nothing's ever been accomplished from riots. Go on strike. Do what the fucking.
It's a way of expressing yourself.
Yes, but
you can go do nothing and stay at home, and then nothing changes.
But they're causing violence. And causing violence.
Police are causing violence.
And hurting people isn't the way to get your way.
Police are causing violence.
They cause violence all. Oh, you going against me on this?
I'm not going against you. I'm just saying that you're not right. No, like, obviously violence is not the answer. But
that's all I'm saying.
A lot of these riots, they're not meant to be violent acts.
I disagree.
There's people, obviously there's gonna be a fucking bad seed.
I'm just saying there's been more than one bad seed.
There are a lot of bad seeds that start violence because when you get really passionate about something, sometimes you're willing to fight about it.
You experiencing this?
I'm not experiencing it, but I'm just saying.
You fight for what you love?
I do fight for what I love and what I'm passionate about.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but should you physically fight people who have nothing to do with what you're trying to get through just to try to get through a point? I think half these people that show up to I will give it to them that they may start off as peaceful protests, but it's out of all this shit, there's always like Michael Brown was the worst. There were a lot of bad shit going on there. People were afraid to leave their houses and shit because they thought they were gonna get shivved in the schoolyard. But what I don't like is every time I read a story about, and it's always cops. I mean, like you never see like people like they try to get through like how many cops black people kill and black people. No, what am I saying? They're trying to get through how many African Americans cops kill and rough up on a day-to-day or yearly basis. And people are like, oh my god, this is insane. But like if you look at like statistics about how many cops kill black people a year and how many black people kill black people a year, there's no comparison. There's more black on black crime than there is cop on black, blue on black crime, I guess is what you can call it. And I mean, as far as I want you to get your way, but saying that Black Lives Matter and aim for basically equality, saying that Black Lives Matter, you're basically implying that if you're not black, your life doesn't matter. And then you get like the people who post, like I see a couple posts on Facebook, like you'll see the people that will post, oh, blue lives matter, like all lives matter. Like it's true, all lives matter. Why is your life any different than mine? And people think that cops are just singling out black people, but that's not the case. I mean, I guess you could call me white. I mean,
you guess you are. You're Caucasian.
I'm tan.
Skin tone is one thing. You're ethnically, you are Caucasian American.
Okay, whatever. I'm Caucasian. Okay, I'm Caucasian. If I commit a crime or a felony like this Michael Brown guy did, robbed a convenience store at gunpoint. They have pictures of him at gunpoint holding this convenience store clerk up and going after this cop who was just defending his life. I mean, like, people is like, oh, he was unarmed. Like, you don't need a weapon to kill somebody. You can kill someone just as easily with your fists, especially if you're a big guy like Michael Brown was. And then they're throwing out pictures of him as a kid. Like, that's not him now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not beefed up or, like, I don't lift weights. I'm not jacked. But if I was jacked and I was coming at somebody and I was ready to kill them, like, let's say I end up killing somebody. You show them a baby picture of me, I'm gonna look like the sweetest kid in the world. Like, oh, not my kid. How can, like, oh, look at him. He's got a little dimple on his face. He's got a little the alfalfa thing. There's no way in hell he could have killed somebody. Like, of course they're gonna try to make this kid seem like he's a good guy. He had tons of pictures on Facebook of him holding guns and money. And then they have him on surveillance holding up a store. No. Did he deserve to die? Probably not. But if you're going to lunge at a cop and attack a cop, you should expect the worst to happen.
True. I mean, I don't know. I want to talk, but I don't know. I'm one of those all lives matters people. Like,
I agree.
You know, what kind of pisses me off about the whole Black Lives Matter thing is that, and I'm not saying that black African American people don't deserve, I don't want to say their 15 minutes of fame, but that's what it feels like at this point.
It seems like that's all they're trying to get.
Yeah.
It's a little attention. Hello, cameras, right. I'm over here.
It feels like in certain cases it's kind of, and I don't want to piss anybody off, but it just, you know, it kind of just comes off as being, you know, wanting your 15 minutes of fame. It's not just black people getting killed. I'm Hispanic, and I read about shit happening to Hispanic people all the time. There was a kid I don't know what state, but a disabled kid also got killed by a police officer, and that angered me more. Not more, but it angered me more that nobody vocalized their anger about somebody with a physical handicap getting killed, as opposed to a beefed up guy who committed a crime and then got killed. But you don't hear shit about any of the other crimes that go on.
What irritates me about the media coverage on this is, unless you're like a white cop killing an African American who is quote unquote unarmed, and I use that term very loosely because there's all sorts of different armed that you can be, but you don't have to have a gun to be armed.
Mm-hmm.
Is unless you're a white cop killing quote unquote unarmed African American, the media, you hear nothing about it. There was an instance, and I don't know if you heard about this, Rose, but there was an instance where there was, and at this point it probably got more media coverage than it did when it first came out. And this actually just happened a while ago. There was a black cop who was in a school who had beat up a black kid who wasn't supposed to be there. The kid didn't attend that school, but he was in the school for whatever reason. And the black cop threw a couple punches at him, apparently broke his ribs, so did a couple ribs, something like that. And you didn't really hear anything about it until a couple months after, until like the cop got charged for it. And it's getting to the point where the cops are just, they're going to be too scared to even go walk up to a person, because at this point, if a cop looks at you wrong, they're going to get in trouble for it.
Oh, this is weird.
Sorry. Your girlfriend distracting me.
I'm sorry.
Where the fuck were we? I don't even fucking remember.
It doesn't matter.
Black cops. Shit happens.
I feel like this is what, I'm not saying like I lost my train of thought.
Well, you waited this.
Wait, no. So what I feel like what should happen is, cops, they're not gonna be scared, because at the end of the day, they know that no matter what your issue is, they're armed. They have their nightsticks, they have their guns, they have tasers, and all that other stuff. Where I feel like everything has gotten a little like twisted is that cops have gotten way too aggressive with their, it's like they've gotten power hungry, and they've let that power get to their head.
Well, not all cops.
Not all cops. I'm
there are
those.
There's like 86% of the cops, I'm sure, are good, amazing cops. I mean, I have friends and I salute you.
Yeah.
But for the 14% of the cops that are power hungry, who are racist.
I mean, it is not even about, I don't even think it, well, in certain cases, yes, it is racist, but
a race issue.
Yeah, exactly, or a race issue. But I feel like that percentage of cops is that they've gotten too forceful. You shouldn't shoot somebody with the intent of killing them. I feel like if you're gonna shoot, you should aim to wound. You know, they're trained to shoot. You go through an intensive course, you know, in just shooting alone. You shouldn't, you know, get into a dispute with, you know, somebody that you're gonna arrest or somebody that you're stopping, and then shoot them. If you're gonna shoot them, don't shoot to kill them. Shoot them in the leg, shoot them in the foot, shoot them in the hand, something. Shoot them in the shoulder.
Right.
I don't feel like killing the person is, you know, that's why there's so many people that are angry, because they're killing people.
Well, because I think what the issue is in some cases, just shooting them in the shoulder, shooting them in the leg is enough to take them down. Especially, like, let's say they're like let's say they're like
you get shot,
beefed up on,
hurt.
yeah. But if you're beefed up on something,
then you fucking tase them.
You
have other solutions.
I know, but there are people like when you're like, let's say you're roided up or you're amped up or you're on fucking crank or fucking speed, which I'm sure the same shit. I don't know, nose candy. But if you're on that stuff, you can get tased and not go down. You can get shot, and
that's
like it's called shock.
That's a different situation, because if you shoot somebody and they're still coming at you, then yeah, you've got to protect yourself and any other person that's around. So that's different. But in the act of when they're stopping them, shoot to wound, not to kill.
I know, but if let's say, because here's where I'm trying to get. If they're shooting to wound, that wound won't always necessarily stop them mid-action, whatever they're doing. I'm sure it'll hurt, but it might not stop them.
That's what I'm saying, then you shoot them again.
So, at that point, like, they're basically shooting to save their life.
That's what
now, now, should they unload 7 to 8 times on somebody that's already on the ground? No. But, because there was that one instance where the cop shot the guy who was running away like 7 or 8 times. There was a video on that. And I completely agree. that guy should have been condemned for what he did. That guy was running away. There was no reason why he had to pull a gun. He could have pulled a taser at that point. Yeah. The taser doesn't have as long as a range, but still, that guy was like limp running away. It's not like he was sprinting. He wasn't a fit guy. It looked like. But if like cops have to constantly fear for, I don't want to be a cop ever because I want to live. Cops have to constantly fear for their life, and it's hard to say what you. It's easy for people to say, oh yeah, well I would have done this, or I would have done that, or he should have done this, or he should have done that, but it's impossible to say what you would have done had you been in that situation.
Yeah, but cops are trained.
Not all cops are trained the same.
Well, I know that they're not, but they're trained to have quick thinking. If there's a situation going on, they have to be on their toes.
Yes, and sometimes that when you're in the heat of something, that thinking gets clouded. Even if it's not. Like, everyone goes through this. So, like, if you're at a test and you're fucking stressed out, you're gonna forget everything you studied for the day before. Mm-hmm. And like, when you're in the moment, some of that training is gonna stay with you. Some of that training is not. It's just something. And I'm gonna get off of this black versus white cop thing for just a second real quick. I saw a story, and I'm sure not everyone else, I don't know who, I read Yahoo a lot, and one of the stories I read was had to deal with a cop who was showing up to a domestic dispute, and it was with a white family, right? So everyone take a seat. It was with a white family. It was between a stepdad and something else. And the cop showed up, and when this is the thing about videos too, is you never ever see a video from start to finish. It always, like, anytime you see any video,
you only get to see the context.
It's always you miss what led up to it.
Yeah.
So in this video, from what I saw, I don't know if they released any updated footage, you see a cop walking up to the house, and then a dog runs up and approaches the cop. Now, from what you see, the dog is just standing there, looking at the cop. The cop turns around, pulls out his gun, I'm assuming with the intent to shoot this dog, and the dog's owner, it was a girl, she was in her teens, she steps in between the cop and the dog, and luckily she didn't get shot. It's not like the cop didn't pull the trigger right as she walked in, so luckily nothing really bad happened. But from what I read, and let me just make a note, this is from what I read, I'm aware not everything on the internet is true. I'm just going based off the assumption that Yahoo occasionally gets stuff right. The cop then takes this girl, throws her behind her. You can see, like, with so much force that this girl gets knocked down, and then arrests her for obstruction or whatever the case was. And then, what the family had said was that the cops then came in, and basically any electronic that wasn't bolted to the ground, they took. They took iPads, iPhones, phones, stuff like that. And it took the family weeks and weeks and weeks just calling these people nonstop to get their stuff back. And they eventually got their stuff back. I think they're now filing a suit against the cop for whatever. And the obstruction charges of her got dropped, so I'm glad everything worked out for them. But I mean, that just kind of goes to show you that not every cop is good, but then not every cop is bad. They're so easy to jump on every little bad thing that a cop does, no matter what it is. It could be something really fucking small. Yeah. But you never hear stories about.
You never hear people rioting about like
cops doing
like not cops, but like people on people crime.
Oh yeah, no, you don't hear anything about. I mean, how many other black people kill. I mean, let me get back into that subject now. People think that cops are targeting black people, but it's not that they're targeting them. It's just that if you look at statistics, it's probably 75% of the time a crime is committed, it's usually by someone who's black. At least crimes that are committed and caught. It's always what?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. That's how they go from when we continue.
It's by cops. It's by people that are black. It's never like like unless you're in like Hickville out in fucking Arizona. The crimes in New York, I mean, I'm sure only most of them are committed by black people.
That makes you sound racist too, though.
It's statistics.
Not. Where did you find the statistic? Or are you making the statistic?
I've seen this somewhere. I can't remember where.
Crimes happen by everybody.
I'm not saying they don't. Yeah.
I didn't say that you didn't say that they don't, but I'm not gonna disagree and not say that a good percentage of it is not, it's happening. People of color, and I include Hispanics in that because Hispanic people also commit crimes.
Mhm.
I don't know. Forget it.
No, I mean, I didn't mean like I'm not just saying just black people.
The way you said it before, you said unless you're in Hickville, then white people are committing these crimes.
I'm just saying I don't know many black people who live in like southern states, and that's usually because
southern states are black.
Yeah.
Georgia.
And they're also the most racist. Southern states are the most racist out of all the states in the U.S.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know where I was fucking going with this. Thanks, babe. Okay. What the fuck was I going with this?
We're kind of just rambling today. There's no like structured.
It's not structured, but it's the topic is the same.
We've gone to like 4 different topics.
It's all been under one topic. There's a story I want to talk about, but on Yahoo News. It's about a postal. It's about a black postal guy.
Okay.
Now this is where I'm siding with the Black Lives Matter group, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
this African American, if you want to call him that, postal worker was doing his daily route or whatever route, weekly route, whatever it is. He gets out of his vehicle, dressed in his postal uniform. A car drives by. Now this is what I'm reading. This is his account versus other people's accounts as well. And obviously the video for it you only see. You don't see the beginning. You only see when shit essentially gets bad. But so like you don't know if he had done anything to provoke it. You only know his word versus what you see. He says that a car almost hits him, and he shouts something, as I'm sure most people would if they almost got hit by a car. I know. I go over and hear her shouted stuff at people in cars when she's almost gotten
all
hit.
the time.
I know I shout at people when I'm driving. So he shouts something at the car. The car, can't remember if it stopped or if it turned around. Regardless, it turns out that the four people, what? It doesn't matter if they stopped or turned around. They came back.
Okay, I'm listening.
I don't know. The way you looked at me, like you're like. Mm-hmm.
You made a funny sound. That's why.
Oh, I'm sorry. Four undercover cops get out.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it wasn't a police cruiser. It was like one of the undercover cruisers, and they get out, and they go up to him, and they basically start. I guess you could say they start something with him, and I guess they started getting rough with him, and they pushed him against a wall, and they were telling him to stop resisting. He was saying he was not resisting, which I want to make a point about that thing and that specific phrase in a second. But he kept shouting about resisting. One of the cops, you can hear him in the video say, stop resisting or you're going to get fucking hurt. That was something that the cop said. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of speculation saying that that it might be like a macho thing, like they're trying to show off in front of their friends or their buddies or their fellow cop buddies, or whatever. And they were saying that it might just be like a macho thing where they're just trying to show off and act all tough, and they ended up arresting him. And I believe he's got to go to court, and I believe he's going to file charges. But he was shocked that, because postal workers are government employees just like police are. So he was saying that his either, I think it's his fiance. He was saying his fiance was actually a cop as well. Mm-hmm. And he had said this while he was getting arrested, hoping that maybe, they won't kill me. Mm-hmm. And there was like, oh, well, we don't care, and this, that, and the other thing. And they ended up arresting him for, what was it? For
resisting?
Resisting arrest, I believe it was, and disorderly conduct or something like that. And he's got to go to court, and I believe he's suing or whatever. But he was shocked that that essentially a fellow government employee would do this to him. Like it's not like he was dressed like a Crip or a Blood and was walking around with a gat in his hand. Like he had a package in his hand that he was delivering, and they dropped the package, kicked it off to the side. They were doing all this stuff, and these people did they get put on leave? No, they're back on. They're on general patrol now, I believe it's what they said, which I'm sure is just like a slightly less glamorous version of whatever the hell undercover patrol, I guess, is what they were doing. I don't know. But yeah, there was no leave, there's no suspension. They just got put right back out on the street to do this to, I'm sure, someone else. So we'll see how that plays out. I want to get back to this resisting arrest thing. what I like to do sometimes in my spare time is I'll watch videos about cops who abuse their power, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the videos I see is they'll be arresting someone and they'll say stop resisting, and then people will basically be resisting while shouting I'm not resisting. So I just want to point out that saying you're not resisting doesn't mean you're not resisting. If they're trying to put
yeah, but sometimes it's hard. Like, I was with one of my friends one time while he was getting arrested, and there's 3 cops. One of them had him, like, by his shoulder, like, by his shoulders, I guess, and he was trying to put him on the floor, while at the same time the other guy was trying to handcuff him. And it's the guy who was handcuffing him kept telling him, you know, stop resisting, and he's like, I'm not and he wasn't resisting, he was just, you know, and the guy was the one behind him was the one that was pushing him. And then the third officer, I forgot exactly what he did, but he like grabbed him and he pushed him against the wall or something, and then they continued to handcuff him, and the guy was like, oh, we're gonna add resisting arrest to your, you know, to your charge. And it's like, I wasn't resisting, your officer was pushing me. How else am I supposed to what else am I supposed to do? Especially because the way that they had him, he was trying to push him like face first.
Mm-hmm.
Instinct wise, when you're going face first, your body's gonna push yourself back, because that's what
you're gonna want to throw your hands out.
Yeah, exactly. So I think in that scenario, like, on some of the videos that I've seen too, like, I've seen videos where people aren't resisting, like, they generally aren't. It's just your instincts kick in when somebody's grabbing and pulling on you like that. As a human, as a person, you're trying to just not defend yourself, but I guess your body just does it for you. Sometimes you're not even
protect
thinking.
yourself from meeting pavement.
Right, exactly. Like, I would hope I'd rather get arrested than my fucking face to fall into the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no. In that scenario, yeah. I can see where like it would, like, they would say stop resisting if you're generally not resisting. But I mean, I've also seen a lot of videos where like the guy is like basically fighting with the cop to not have his hands behind his back or whatever, or to essentially not get handcuffed, and the cop's like, oh, stop resisting.
mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, they're on the ground because of the fact that they were resisting and thought that, oh, just because I'm saying I'm not resisting, that means, oh yeah, I'm not resisting.
Yeah.
So I mean, like going back to that postal worker guy, he was saying that he thinks the only reason that he is here to talk about this thing today is because of the fact that he genuinely tried his best to do what these people were saying, because he knew that, like, especially with everything that's going on in like certain cops in specific areas, especially if your area is known for cops harassing black people, they know that, okay, well, if we mess with these cops, we're gonna end up in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
So to get back around to this Black Lives Matter thing, do I believe they need to be here? Yes.
Who?
The Black Lives Matter, the whole group itself.
the
the group in its entirety, not the people. The people can stay. I'm fine with the people staying. I'm talking about the group. Just the group doesn't need to be here. Yes. Are they going about trying to get their way the right way? No.
Yeah. You don't solve violence with more, like,
you don't solve violence with violence.
Yeah, you don't. It's just like two wrongs don't make it right.
It's like trying to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch for a little bit, and then it's like, okay, we gotta get a firefighter involved now.
Yeah, no, it's when it comes, like, I guess my closing statement for this is,
that's fine, because we gotta wrap this up.
All lives matter. It's not a matter of, you know, whose life matters most. They all matter equally. For me, anyway. I know, you know, and certain people see it like, oh, my life, my life and my people matter more than you and your people.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it goes sometimes, unfortunately. I wish more people had the thought of, you know, we all matter. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian. It doesn't matter. We all matter. I think the only peoples that don't matter, that lives don't matter, are pedophiles and rapists. And ISIS. I think it's that, like, everybody's life matter, and I wish people would stop being like, I wish people would be less ignorant in the fact of seeing that. Like, it's not, it shouldn't be a competition as to whose life matters most. Like, your humanity should make you see, like, you know, we're people, we're human, we all matter. And it doesn't matter what your profession is. Even if you're a drug dealer, you know, fuck it. That's what you chose to do with yourself. Fine.
If it works for you.
You know, if you're a police officer, you matter as well. There's always gonna be dirty people, and no matter what profession you're in, they're dirty cops. What I don't like is the people who assume that all cops are dirty. You know, like those 2 cops that got murdered in New York City. They were just sitting in their fucking car.
Oh yeah, and the guy came up and shot him and something in the head. Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
And they weren't white.
No, they were one was Hispanic, I think one was Asian, something like that. You know, you don't solve, or you don't take out your anger or how passionate you are with more violence, and that's what I don't agree with. You want to riot and you want to, you know, vent about how you're feeling toward these kind of acts, fine. You know, you do
riot,
it.
Protest.
No, protest.
Not riot. Riot's very dangerous.
Well,
protest.
You can riot. You can also have peaceful riots where you're not having, you know, where you're not doing violence.
That's protesting.
I guess. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Protest, riot, whatever. Just don't do it with.
Do it by yourself.
Because then what pisses me off a little bit, and I don't mean to extend this, but
that's okay.
I've seen videos where people have been rioting, and they're like throwing shit at cars and doing all this other shit, and then they get mad that the police officer stops them and like moves them away or pushes them back, and it's like, what the fuck did you expect them to do?
Yeah.
You're committing. At the end of the day, you're still committing a fucking crime. They still have to do their job.
I want to throw something in there.
Yeah.
What I think is funny / sad is a lot of the people that are in these riots, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying
a good portion.
A good portion of these people that are in these riots weren't there for the reason that, like, the protesters were there for.
Yeah.
Like they're there to try to get free shit. They're seeing a bunch of people going out, destroying shit, breaking storefronts, doing all this shit, and they see, oh, free shit.
I don't know about you. That's your opinion. No, listen, I'm out of there. I want to live.
I know. I'm just saying, no, like that's what, because like a lot of, like,
I agree. I'm sure there's a percentage of people who do see that.
Like if you're a part of the protest, and then that protest turns violent to the point where you're breaking cars and breaking windows, that's fine. But the second you see that as an opportunity to try to get free stuff, or like, oh, I can loot a quick TV because no one's gonna know it's me, like, or a iPod or a phone. What?
Being.
No, I'm not.
I know. I'm saying you.
Because I didn't specify anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But Because you see white people in the riots too.
I know you do.
But I don't know. Do you want to finish what you're saying real quick? If you don't remember, I can finish.
Oh well, no, yeah. You don't solve more violence with more violence. I get that, when you're passionate about something, you do want to vocalize your opinion. But I think times have changed, and maybe, back in the day, being violent and everything might have gotten you somewhere. But I think with everything that's been going on, we kind of see that violence isn't taking it anywhere. If anything, it's making the situation worse. So I feel like maybe there should be, a new strategy. If you feel the need, to go and protest and, be angry and vocalize and all this, that's your freedom. That's your right to do so. I just feel like, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. You should be doing it peacefully, like the hippies do.
I've noticed that like a lot of the protests that I've seen that come out, and a lot of the protests come out after like some of the major shootings and killings that have happened between cops and African Americans. Because I mean that's kind of like that's like been the main vocal point of like any violence towards African Americans. Anytime like you see like a protest or a riot, it's always after like a cop is killed, an African American, whether it's like a kid, teenager, whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that. I don't remember what I said. Oh my God, my memory is shot.
I'm giving your closing statement.
Oh, okay. My closing statement, I can't remember. I had this whole thing planned out.
He agrees with me.
I do.
All lives matter.
All lives matter.
People gotta grow the fuck up and stop being violent. That's it. We should live. Like, I really wish we lived in a more peaceful world. I hate reading about all these other fucking things that we can probably talk about at different podcasts, because there's a lot of shit that kind of just aggravates me.
There's a lot of stuff we can cover. We'll think about what to cover next time.
Yeah.
All right.
All lives matter.
Do you have,
that's all. Questions.
So we're reaching the end of the show. We're gonna answer a few questions. Unfortunately, because no one likes me or us, we did not get any questions. I actually posted it. We got questions. I lost them.
Yes.
So I have no idea where they are. So we just went on Google and Googled some random questions, and we're gonna answer some random questions off Google. So which one looks good to you, babe?
Ooh, something or someone you miss the most from childhood.
Something or someone. Something. I miss when I was a kid. I had a little guinea pig.
Aw.
His name was Buddy.
Buddy?
Aw. He was a cute little guinea pig. He was kind of like a light brown. Mm-hmm. And he had a white stripe going up the middle of his face from his nose up into like where his little ears are. Mm-hmm. And I had him for the longest time. He was the first guinea pig we got. We got a couple guinea pigs. He was the last guinea pig we had. Mainly because as kids, me and my brother did dumb shit, and unfortunately it led to the loss of some of our guinea pigs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
God damn
Which
it.
we can get into another time. I'll make a note of it to tell a story about that. Yeah, I miss my guinea pig Buddy. What I don't miss, I'm going to say this with passion. I had an albino gerbil.
I remember this story.
Never again. Alright. Got it in the pet store. It was a nice, lovey-dovey. Looked like a rat. White, red eyes, right? Looked like the devil. Like the devil reincarnate rat gerbil. And it was nice in the store. I was playing with it. I get it home. The second it enters my house, it's like devil ticked in, and it was evil and bit me, and I was like, fuck you, I hope you die. And what happened? It dies on Christmas. Best fucking present ever.
He's evil.
What about you? Do, 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 do,
Can I say two things?
I said two things.
Alright, so I guess my something would be, I used to have a little, and I guess this is weird, but I used to have a doll that looked a lot like Chucky before I knew about who Chucky was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my favorite little doll to like carry around, although everybody in my house hated it because it was creepy looking and it just gave them goosebumps or whatever. Yeah, like my grandma hated it and she would try, like there was one time she threw it away and I think I was like 8 or 9 and I went downstairs. I pretended I was going to the next door neighbor's house and I went downstairs and got my doll back. And she tried numerous times to give it up, or not give it up, she tried numerous times to hide it from me and just throw it out, but it didn't work until, I don't know, I think my brother got so freaked out by it, he kept having like nightmares and then I couldn't sleep, so then I ended up just, I think I donated it because it was still a fairly nice doll. I just donated it. And I guess my someone used to have a really good friend when I was in elementary school. Her name was Carmen. And me and her were like fucking sisters. Like we met each other in first grade. And we knew each other till like, I think I was in 6th grade. But then she moved away, I think the summer before I started 7th grade. And I never heard from her again. And it kind of sucked. I was sad when she moved. I remember the both of us kind of crying because we were going to miss each other and all this other stuff. And we tried staying in communication, but then I moved and she didn't know. So, I don't know. It just sucked. She was nice though. We told each other stories and I was a geeky looking younger girl. Not that I have changed much. But we used to get bullied a lot, and I can kind of say that she helped me turn into the I don't give a fuck kind of person that I am today. So she kind of helped shape the rose that I am today. She helped me bloom.
The beautiful rose.
Yes.
There was I actually had a kid when I had a friend when I was in college. And he had, there was one day he had went out to a bar with a couple of his friends and a couple of my roommates, and I mean we weren't close, but I mean we're decent friends, I guess you'd say. We were fairly good acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was sleeping and I hear my dorm room door open, and I just hear a bunch of commotion. So I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? So I get up, I go to my door, and I look out. Because the way my dorm room was set up is each of us, I have 3 other roommates, each of us had our own room. So lucky I didn't have to share one. So I opened my door, I looked out my room, and I saw a couple of people, and one of my roommates had blood all over his shirt.
Jesus.
So I was like,
this fucking story, hold up. Where did this come from?
I could have sworn I told you.
You've never
this story.
told me
Never?
this.
Okay, well this will be a first for you.
Jesus.
And
I remember blood on his shirt.
he had blood all over his shirt. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yo, so and so, I can't remember his name right now.
Bob.
We'll call him Bob. It's like, Bob was got stabbed, or Bob was killed today or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, how? And he's like, oh well, he was pretty hammered, and they got into an argument with some guy that had there was actually a story about it too on Yahoo. Got into an argument with a guy, I think it was about a girl, and the guy was pretty wasted, and Bob turned around to walk away, and the other guy stabbed him a bunch of times in the back.
Oh shit.
And I mean that was pretty sad too. And then like I had
I want to hear more about the story later.
That was about it.
I want to read the story later.
Oh yeah, if I can find it. I think the kid ended up getting arrested too, but I mean he was a pretty good friend. I mean I lost my first dog that year as well as one of my favorite teachers. So
this is
bad
morbid.
shit. Bad shit happens in threes, they say.
I don't even know where that came from, but that was sad.
Alright, so let's say I could do another question. I'll have you answer this one while I look up the story. What do you think would be the hardest thing for you to give up on? Question mark.
Give up on?
Yes.
Or give up? Like,
give up on, like smoking. Just give up whatever. What would be the hardest for you?
Well, smoking has been proved to be the
But
hardest.
is there anything that would be harder?
The hardest thing that you. It would suck to have to give up on you. It's like give him a hug. I know, sappy moment. The hardest thing I'd have to give up on. I guess the most disappointing thing that I would have to give up on would be like not knowing if I'm gonna be able to go back to college or not. I guess that's like my hardest thing to kind of realize right now. Like I want to go back.
That's cool.
But I don't know if I'll be able to because I don't have money and tuition and shit sucks. So, well, what about you?
This is it. I would have to say. I mean, I'm a pretty avid gamer, so I would have to say
soda.
Soda
would
pop,
be the hardest
pop or
thing
soda.
for you to
I wanna ask you guys a question. I want you guys to answer in the comments. Do you guys call it pop or soda?
Soda.
And if you could tell us where you're from, that would be great. Cause I heard somewhere.
Only Southerners say pop.
I don't know.
That's the only people that I've ever
We're in New York
met.
and I'm saying
well,
pop.
I mean, there's people in Buffalo who sound like they should live in Georgia.
Do I sound like I should live in Georgia?
Not you. I'm saying people.
Open.
They've converted you to popism, okay?
Pop.
They've converted
Giving
him to
up pop
popism.
would be difficult. I think giving up
would be fucking hard for him. He drinks almost a fucking liter a day, right?
I think giving up,
if not more,
gaming would be pretty difficult for me as well. Because I pretty much, when I'm not with my girlfriend, I'm gaming.
Yeah.
And I'm with my girlfriend whenever she's not at work. So, I mean, that tells you that. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to end this.
You're not gonna do 3 questions this time?
We'll do 3 questions. Are you old-fashioned?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask this question. You don't have to say why. Just, are you happy with your life for the most part right now?
Yes. I'm in a good place. I moved
Twice.
here. What?
3 times, technically.
I've moved to a better area. I'm happier here in Buffalo than I was back home. I guess the only thing I really miss is my family. It's probably the one thing that I like, my family and my friends. But I would say overall I'm pretty fucking happy. I have a good job. Well, I don't love my job. Fuck the people that come into my job. But I like my staff. I like the people that I'm surrounded by all day. And I get to come home to a loving boyfriend. And I'm lucky enough to have not in-laws yet, but I guess future in-laws that I actually enjoy being around. So overall I'm fucking happy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have to say I'm overall happy with my life as well. I get to go to work where I get decent pay. I get to come home, see my girlfriend. We're moving out hopefully
Soon.
this summer, to an apartment, not to a house. So hopefully we'll be able to have a better setup for this later. But I have amazing parents. I have some kooky ass dogs.
Oh yeah, Daisy and Whiskey.
Daisy
Our
and
dogs.
Whiskey.
They're fucking awesome.
They are fucking awesome.
They're fucking weird, but they're fucking awesome. But weird is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what makes me awesome.
That is what makes you awesome. So that wraps up the questions. I'm hoping that shortly, we will get actual questions. We won't have to go to Google for questions. If you guys have questions, just put them in the comments, and we'll make note of them and answer them on the next podcast. The next podcast will be next Wednesday,
Hopefully.
which will be April 6th.
April 6th.
April 6th. Which will be...
It's gonna be April, a new month.
The second episode of the mid-season comeback of Empire.
Yeah.
And Arrow is on Wednesdays as well. If you don't watch Arrow, watch Arrow. Good show. So I am going to bid you adieu.
And don't be assholes. I'm just gonna say that every end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Don't be a douche.
I know what we talk about might be touchy to people, and I know we might come off as assholes, but as always, we don't mean to come off as assholes. So thank you all for listening, and I hope you guys will follow us. We're on SoundCloud. We are now also on iTunes. You can, yes.
You don't tell me shit.
We are on iTunes, babe.
Okay, now I know.
Now you in the loop.
I learned with the people.
You learn with the people. We are now on iTunes. If I'm not mistaken, well, right now our Facebook is on the our SoundCloud page. I will post our iTunes link on there as well. So if you have iTunes and would prefer to listen to us on there, you can. So hopefully we'll see you guys next week. And until then, I wish you all the best of luck in whatever it is you're doing this week. You good?
Oh, bye guys. Yeah, fun. Until next week.
Great. Later, guys. See you soon.